Hey, everybody, listen, welcome in the building. Happy Saturday, happy Saturday, happy Saturday. I'm moving my little shawl out the way. Happy Saturday, people. I'm glad you're here spending time with the Diva for trending topics because you know how we do. We got stuff to talk about. So, tonight's trending topics is called Do You Believe? Do you believe? So, there's this father that took his 6-year-old on a bus. So apparently the 6-year-old was being bullied by a 7-year-old, and the father decided he gonna handle this today. He got on the bus, and I'm confused about why bus drivers are allowing parents to get on the bus. That shouldn't be the case. I've done about 3 to 4 stories this year at the very least where a parent got on a bus and was beating up on a kid. But this parent got on the bus and was up in the 7-year-old face and told the 7-year-old, you gonna stop touching my daughter. Then I guess the 7-year-old wasn't looking at him and he said, you need to look at me. Then he told his daughter, you know what to do. I told you what to do already. And the daughter welling on the 7-year-old, just welling on her. And then he told her that wasn't enough. He said, I want to see her cry. This is a father. Well, he got arrested. But you know what? You know the story. What's her name? Kata Scott out there in Philly. You want to know how we end up with these Keon Kings that took Kata Scott's life? This is how we end up with those Keon Kings. You are teaching a 6-year-old to get up on the school bus and wail on somebody. Yeah, and the school's got to do something more about this whole bullying situation. I totally agree with that. But I also agree that parents need to teach their kids how to handle it better too and differently. And the reason why I'm saying that is because you're going to get bullied probably your whole life in little low-level ways. And sometimes a high level. You're going to get bullied at work. Nobody wants to talk about it, but we got to tell the truth here. You're going to get bullied at work. You're probably going to get bullied when you go to college. You're probably going to get bullied from a whole lot of people. And sometimes you may get bullied from your mate. So if the only way you're going to learn to deal with the bullying is by violence, then you in trouble. You in trouble. You got a long, hard life ahead of you. Told his daughter, I told you. He said, I want to see her cry. But this is what we got. So, you know, I don't know what to tell you. It's like, you know, they say it's bad not to have the father in the home. Well, you got the father in the home, and look what we got. Look what we got. So I'm leaning towards the belief that it's not about who's in the home. Is it just the mom, or if it's a single mom or a single dad, or the mother and father? It's about what's within them that they instilling in you in that home, whether it's a single mother, single father, grandmother, whoever it is. Yeah, the people are disturbed. Increased matters. I'm with you on that. Disturbed. Now we're going to go to that case. Do y'all remember the case where the father, he drove home, he left the little girl in the car because she was sleeping. The little girl ended up dying because it got so hot. The little girl died. And the mother's an anesthesiologist, and the mother said that the father, you know, they found out via text that the father was constantly, you know, leaving the kids in the car alone, and she thought it was okay to keep leaving her kids with their father, even though the father displayed behaviors that showed that he was neglectful to the kids. He ended up getting arrested for the murder of his own child. Well, then they let him out on bail. And then while they let him out on bail, the mother went to the courts and was like, we about to go on vacation in Maui and we want him to go. And he was allowed to go for a whole week vacation while he's facing criminal charges in Hawaii. So the title is, Do You Believe? But do you believe now that depending upon who you are, justice looks different for you? Diddy can't even get out on bond, but here's this man, his child is dead, and he gets to go to Hawaii. We're going to talk about it. Then the last one is, what is she's a house member? And this do you believe is, do you believe at a certain age, if people themselves have not hung it up, then we got to intervene and tell them it's a wrap. The House member, Eleanor Holmes Norton, she's 88. And she was a victim of, she was taken advantage of. A contractor came at her house, did no work at all, and charged her credit card $4,400. And they saying she's running for reelection again, even though she currently be missing meetings, don't remember people names that she knew for years, and they said she got early onset dementia. First of all, how can you run again and you've been missing meetings? I'm going to leave the dementia stuff to the side for 1.2 seconds. But you've been missing meetings. You don't remember names. The people got to help you. And they about to let you run again. We got to step in. We got to step in. Because even when we have people that are of a certain age and maybe there's a stop sign and they're missing the stop sign, or they running through lights, they're distracted, we may have to revoke your license. I'm sorry. It seems harsh. It seems mean. But maybe we got to move you into years increased matter. She needs to be retired. Yeah, come on. Come on, increased matter. She needs to retire. Thank you, Ms. Holmes Norton, for your years of service. We appreciate you and love you, but you got to go. And we got the younger generation behind us for a reason, and that's why we need to raise them up to be able to step in and step up. I'm going to be honest with you, and if you know some names, let me know. But I don't know, what are we going to do when the Al Sharptons are no longer here? What are we going to do? Who's ready to step in and step up? Because it seems like people cannot handle it. We got these administrators, the one that was in charge of the Black Lives Matter, that person was accused of stealing the money and using it for herself. We have Pastor Jamal Bryant. He led the charge to not shop at Target, but I haven't heard nothing else. What came of that? What's going on? What's happening? I haven't heard nothing else. What next? You told us not to go to Target. The people listen, but what next? What's the next step? He said eventually they was going to be moving to Walmart, but I ain't hear nothing about them saying don't go to Walmart. What's next? It's like we pick up the torch for 2.5 seconds and then we put it down. And don't nobody hear nothing no more. 1,800 people from corporate, corporate at Target they're losing their jobs. Yeah, Diva, the BML lady, 2 houses burned down to the ground in LA fires. Oh my God. The Black Lives Matter lady. But this woman was so greedy. She had butlers. Yeah, the CEO stepped down. Yes, he did. The CEO stepped down, but I want to know what is next. You know, the Martin Luther Kings, he paved the way. And nobody really has been walking down that path since his passing, if you ask me. How did our ancestors get more done with less than we can get done with more? It just doesn't make any sense. I promise you this, though. Now we're in a world where everybody is 100% out for self. Everybody's out for self. You see what this, they ain't on the docket tonight, but you see what this whole NBA thing, the people snitching, the people this, the people that. And listen, I'm not getting into, like, my thing is, I never liked that word snitching. If I got to save myself, it should not be called snitching. It should be called like they call it everywhere else, CYA. Got to save myself. Why is that considered snitching? But it's like we are getting nowhere. We're getting nowhere fast. It's very sad, and we're in a crisis. We need the people to stand up. But in the meantime, tonight, don't do Jamal. Listen. I ain't hating on the man because he did make an impact on that Target. Target to this moment, they suffering. And listen, he saved me too. I got to keep some extra change in my pocket to buy another pair of shoes. Because I used to just go to Target, walk around, and by the time I finished walking around, I was $200 into my cart with a whole bunch of stuff that I didn't even know what I was going to do with it. I was buying more bathroom towels, more sheets, candles, and I'm like, girl, you got enough. Your linen closet is packed. But I would just go there, walk around, and end up with a whole bunch of stuff. And some stuff I would just be like, oh, this is cute, this on sale. I don't know. I'll figure it out and throw it in the cart. And next thing you know, my cart is $200 in. I get up there, the people ringing up, they say two whatever. I'm like, what happened? What I get? Tara, I appreciate you for all the support. You always supporting the diva. Much love. All of y'all are. Even if when you come here and do a like, that is supporting the diva. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the super chat. Much love and happy Saturday. Thank you. But Target used to get me all the time. But now, love, girlfriend. Thank you. But now, I'm not gonna lie and tell you I don't never go there. I do go to Target, but I don't go on the level that I did before, and I don't miss it. It's so funny how when you want to stop something, you can. Because if you would have just told me just in general to stop going to Target, I would have been like, for what? But now, if I go there, it's literally because there are some things that I'm used to getting from there, and I do get a little bit cheaper than I get somewhere else. But I'm not living in Target like I did before and just mindlessly buying things. I am not. Hit the like button, people. Thank y'all. So listen, people, it's Saturday night. It's trending topics. We got stuff to talk about. I need a what in the chat. I need a choo-choo. Hold aboard, everybody. It is Saturday night trending topics, and we got stuff to talk about. The title's called Do You Believe? We got the father behaving badly. I saw that video a couple of days ago, and I'm just in complete and utter shock. I can't believe it. Criminal gets to go on vacation in Eleanor Holmes, as the word was in the chat. Thank you for your services, but we're going to need you to go sit down somewhere because we're good. Let me bring the people on in the building. Hey, Julius.
Hey, y'all, hit the like button for the diva.
Thank you. Hey, my opinion. Hey, Katrina.
Choo-choo.
Choo-choo. So, you know what? Let's go to this father behaving badly. If y'all haven't seen this video, it's pretty sad. I literally was in shock like when I saw it, and I just couldn't believe it and couldn't believe that, you know, it appears, and I get it scary, right? And I don't know how this man walked up on the bus. But at the same time, I think these bus drivers probably need an emergency button so that they can call the cops, right? So maybe they can sneak and hit the button. Especially because if I was the father or the mother to the child that got the beat down on the bus, I'm suing the school system, and that's a point blank in the period. And y'all know I often say over here, I'm not quick to pull the trigger on suing nobody, but in this particular case, my child is at school, my child is on the school bus, y'all did not protect her. So guess what? I'm suing y'all, and I'm gonna get a lawyer that's gonna go for the gusto. Let me just here. Okay, let's do this video first.
Our top story, disturbing new video tonight of a school bus brawl.
Yeah, do what I told you to do. Hey,
A father accused of egging on his 6-year-old daughter to attack another student. Tonight, the county prosecutor says that parent who was charged with felony harassment could face even more charges. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kelly Jackson.
And I'm Mike Bush. The father is now sharing what prompted him to take matters into his own hands. 5 on your side's Brent Solomon is here with new information in the story he first reported 2 days ago. Brent?
Well, the father here says the student in the video that you're about to see here had actually been bullying and attacking his daughter at school. So he wanted his child to defend herself, he said. Prosecutors say that's not the way you do it. Take a look at this video that starts with kids being kids on a school bus. That's when Maurice Fox gets on with clear instructions for his 6-year-old daughter.
yeah, do what I told you to do. Hey, don't put your hands on my daughter no more.
She then begins repeatedly punching the 7-year-old girl. When she was done, Dad wanted more.
Again, I want her crying. Again.
The little child follows orders and throws even more blows.
Come on, let's go.
What stood out to you on that video when you saw it?
Really what stood out to me was how little these children are.
St. Louis County Prosecutor Melissa Price Smith says the 1 felony and 3 misdemeanor charges Fox faces currently could be upgraded.
These charges are merely preliminary. The case will be presented to the grand jury.
This wasn't an easy decision, the father said in a statement online, but it was the only thing that finally stopped the other child from continuing to hurt her. I felt I had no other choice as a parent. My only intention was to protect my child and empower her in a world that hasn't protected her.
You hear me, little girl? Hey, look at me. Don't you dare touch my daughter no more.
What kind of world do we live in if we teach our children to resolve conflict through violence? We won't tolerate that.
Now, the Ferguson police chief said they've made several attempts to reach Fox, but he has avoided detectives. A warrant is out for that father's arrest. He's also facing misdemeanor charges of assault and trespassing.
Now, he has since been arrested, just to give you that update, but I have another video I want to show you. Let's see. Okay, let's go. My computer being slow.
Man accused of forcing his way onto a Ferguson Florissant school bus and telling his daughter to beat up another student. Thanks for joining us, everyone, at 5. I'm Robert Townsend. Let's get right over to 5 on your side's Brent Solomon with the latest in this startling case. So, Brent, tell us what you've learned.
All right, Robert, let me fill you in here. Surveillance video captured the entire ordeal. That father ordering his 6-year-old daughter to throw blows, telling her, quote, "Do what I told you to do." This happened Thursday morning near Lee Hamilton Elementary School in Ferguson when the 64-year-old bus driver tried to stop it. Court documents say that 36-year-old father, Maurice Fox, pushed the driver's arm away. That's when authorities say his daughter identified a 7-year-old student just before he commanded her to attack. Documents say she began punching the student in the head, and police say Fox directed her to keep going before he eventually left. St. Louis County prosecutors are now charging Fox with 4 misdemeanor counts, including trespassing and assault on a school bus. We're hearing from Ferguson Florissant schools about this, a spokesperson saying school buses are an extension of the school campus. Trespassing on a school bus and engaging in the behavior described in this incident are completely unacceptable. The school district says it is cooperating with police. They say they won't tolerate behavior that compromises student safety. Authorities say the suspect has prior convictions. Once in custody, he will face a $100,000 bond.
And like I said, just so you know, he is in custody. And like they said, this ain't his first rodeo. He was wanted in another state for things that he has done. Let me share screen again. Tara, again, much love. Thank you so much for the super chat. I truly appreciate you and all your support. Hold on one second, guys. Okay. I'm going to pull up the article. Just give me a minute. Yeah, he definitely has priors. But this is just so sad. And if I was that girl, and you see the school teacher, this bus driver did try to stop him. Father of girl instructed to beat up the student on school bus is now arrested. So a father who allegedly instructed his daughter to beat up another student on a school bus earlier this month in Ferguson is now in custody. The Ferguson Police Department reports that the suspect, 36-year-old Maurice Fox, turned himself into police Monday evening. Fox is currently being held at St. Louis County Justice Center on a $100,000 bond. On October 10th, the St. Louis County Prosecuting Attorney General charged Fox with harassment, trespassing, and 2 counts of fourth-degree assault over his involvement in the attack. For more than a week, Fox was being sought on an at-large warrant from the prosecuting attorney's office. According to probable cause statement, the attack, which widely circulated via video, occurred on October 9th in the 100 block of Frost Avenue. Investigators say Fox allegedly entered a Ferguson fluorescent school bus with a 6-year-old daughter. The driver tried to prevent Fox from entering the bus, but he pushed the driver's arm away and continued walking down the aisle, per the probable cause statement. Charging documents allege Fox's daughter then pointed at a 7-year-old student who was sitting on the bus. Fox reportedly told his daughter, "Do what I told you to do," and the child began punching the other student in the head. He repeatedly ordered his daughter to keep punching the student. Ferguson Police Chief Troy Joy expressed deep concern about the disturbing nature of this incident. The incident is extremely troubling on many levels. As adults, we have a responsibility to model appropriate behavior and teach our children how to resolve conflict peacefully. Encouraging violence among children, especially in such a public and frightening way, is unacceptable. We are grateful this individual chose to turn himself in, and we hope this brings some measure of accountability. Ferguson police say they continue to work with the Ferguson Fluorescent School District to ensure safety for students and staff. And you know what? I know this may sound extreme, but maybe a police officer needs to be on every school bus. This is just sad. Julius, your thoughts?
So mediation wasn't an option? Going to the school wasn't an option? And demanding the school to bring in the other child's parents to have a conversation? That wasn't an option? There could have been ample ways to go about this. Darlings, listen to me, okay? We cannot be like in Medea's family reunion going on the bus and tearing the kids up. Look here, darlings, that was a movie. This is real life. We cannot be like that, okay? There are ways to go about it. I would have been calling the school. Look, if y'all don't put a stop to this, I'm going to come up there and handle it. Of that nature. Demand accountability. Demand a meeting. Or shoot, go into the media. And be like, my child is being bullied at this school, and they're not doing nothing about it. They're pushing it under the rug, yada yada yada. There's ways to go about it. But we can't just hop on a school bus and instigate a fight. Can't happen. So I have to say, he brought this on himself.
Thank you. In my opinion, your thoughts?
Oh Lord Jesus. You probably not gonna like this one, Diva. I'm probably gonna shake the train. Listen, bullying has gotten rough these days in school. And yes, we go through bullying throughout life. And yes, we should teach our kids the proper protocol. But I feel like these days the school has dropped the ball. When you tell them, they say, "Oh, we're gonna look into it, we're gonna handle it," and nothing gets done. When you go to the school board, they say, "Oh, we're gonna look into it, we're gonna get something done." Nothing gets done. And the reason I'm saying this is because I don't know if you remember this, Diva, but 3 years ago, I lost my baby cousin to bullying. She came home and unalived herself because she was tired of being bullied. A freshman in high school. And I know they called the school board, and I did too, just because I was tired of hearing them cry about it was nothing they could do. We even called the mayor's office. Some schools do not care, and these school boards do not care either. Everybody's just getting a check. There are officers in the schools, and they do nothing. There needs to be some accountability that be held at these schools that don't do nothing. And you can show the paperwork that they don't do nothing. It really does. It needs to be some kind of accountability done on all ways. Because parents are getting tired of hearing their kids come home crying every day or saying, "I don't want to go to school because they're being bullied at the schoolhouse." This should not be the case. And yes, while we all want our kids to be able to solve it the right way, when are people going to start taking accountability that these are kids? They're not adults yet. They hurt worse than we do. And you imagine how you taking when somebody bullying you. So I get it on both ends.
I do think when it comes to a lot of things, the school drops the ball. But I do also feel that there's still a proper protocol and a way of doing things. So when he thought that was the right answer, so great. Now your daughter doesn't have you. And now what? What if somebody different starts bullying her? What is she gonna do? Because now you locked up. So I just think there is always a better way to do things. You got to figure it out. And I'm 10 toes down that violence is never the answer. Katrina, your thoughts?
Yeah. Hey, Diva. Hey, Pound Chat. The first line of defense should have been the school bus driver. If this is happening on the school bus, he should have addressed it. And
She tried.
Okay, so if the school bus didn't do anything and the school didn't do anything, no, violence is not the answer. But sometimes you got to pop out and show people, look, you can't be putting your hands on my child. Now, I would have had a different approach. I would tell them, look, you can't be putting your hands on my child. Don't touch my child no more. If my child come home again and tell me that you would put your hands on her, it's gonna be a different discussion. Because
You're
for a
gonna go
child,
talk to a 7-year-old kid, Katrina?
I'm saying because David is not working. If the bus driver and took him into the office, they ain't did nothing. The school ain't did nothing.
No. Let's roll back the footage for 1.2 seconds here.
Okay.
I don't even know if he went to the school. So my thing is, did he go to the school or did his daughter keep coming home and talking to him and he decided he was going to get on the bus and handle things? I'm not going in somebody else's child's face. That will
No,
never.
I'm talking about with the school bus driver.
The
The
school
school
bus
bus driver should have stopped. The school bus driver should have never let him get on the bus.
She tried to stop him from getting on the bus.
Like
She did.
it's a lot, Diva. I mean, confronting kids and stuff like that, but some of these kids, they can be 7-year-old but have a mind of like a 10-year-old. You knew it was wrong to be hitting somebody and bullying somebody that's smaller than you. I mean, yeah, me going into that child's face probably stop something else from happening because you keep bullying this child. They're never going to stop if they don't have no action. Now, I don't know if he went to the school. That should have been his second defense. If he went to the school, and they still ain't do nothing. No, I don't agree with the situation on how it was handled, but I see how it was handled because when your child hurt, you hurt. And you bullying my child for what? What are you getting out of it? Why are you bullying my child? You older than my child. That's just the same thing, Diva. This child is older than the 6-year-old, but she's still bullying that 6-year-old. She's a whole different grade, a whole different year than her. They need the bullying stuff. It has gotten out of control. And yes, we've seen so many unalive themselves because of bullying. We've seen so many failing in schools because of the bullying. Sometimes they can't even sleep at home because they thinking like, I gotta go to this get back on this bus tomorrow, and this child gonna bother me again. Kids, I mean, they're very vulnerable. But somebody gotta step in and say something. Because if not, it's gonna keep getting worse. And I hate that, he went that route and he's locked up right now, and but now his child feel like, okay, well, since this happened, I can protect myself. I know how to protect myself now. It's a lot. It's a lot because, like you said, the grown person getting into a child face. I understand that part, but you got to realize, leave my child alone. Don't do this. Don't do this to my child. Now, I don't agree with the fighting whatsoever, but I would have told, look, just leave my child alone. Talk to the parents, talk to somebody, because this could have went a whole new route. Maybe that child family want to come after him. It could have went a whole different route. They're going to have to learn how to settle things the right way because you don't want nobody coming back after you the wrong way. But these kids these days got to be stopped. They got to be stopped. And yeah, they're kids, but these kids are way smarter than the kids that we grew up with. They know these computers, they know all this type of stuff before they even turn the age of 4. So I get what he did, but I don't appreciate how he did it. But somebody had to sit down. Somebody had to set the level down. But that's all I got. That's just me. I'm sorry. That's all I got.
No problem. I'm coming to you, Wayne, but I don't get what he did at all. I just don't. I don't get how, as an adult, you felt it was a good idea and okay to get up in the bus in the kid face and tell that kid to look at you, and then go and tell the kid, if you keep hitting on my kid, then I'm gonna have to deal with your parents. He should have dealt with her parents from the door. Wayne, your thoughts? And I do think parenting in the U.S. is getting an F. You got, before Wayne, just mute for 1 second. Let's go back to the parent who told her adult kids to go to the fast food restaurant and beat somebody up. You teaching your kids how to be a Keon King. Wayne, your thoughts?
Okay. Yeah, he's the adult. I know bullying ain't right, but these are kids. I mean, actually, children, small children. Now, what if it went sideways? He told a little girl, go beat the other, whatever. And the child fell, whatever. Anything could happen. The same thing with adults fighting. They could fall, hit their head or whatever. I mean, it could have gone sideways. Those are the things you have to think about when you go doing this, getting involved with children. This should have been, go to the school, do what you have to do. But you can't go on the bus and tell a child to hurt another child. And then gonna tell a child, don't put your hands, these are kids. They might be wrong, but who in jail? They not in jail, you in jail. And not only that, are you teaching your child to do this? How many other kids were on the bus? And think, okay, if I get bullied, this is what's going to happen. This is where it happens. My parents going to come up there and they're going to tell me, do this or do that. Or I'm going to, take it in my own hands. These little kids. And when these kids grow up, they'll hardly even kind of remember this kind of stuff. Oh, yeah, I was bad when I was a kid. I was this, whatever. It'll blow over. But your rap sheet ain't going to blow over. They still got a rap sheet on you when you did stuff before. This is just crazy. You just can't go trying to take the law, especially with children, in your own hands because it doesn't turn out good. That's it.
And then he said, beat this girl till I want to see her cry. I don't
No,
know
I
what
think
this.
y'all got it wrong.
So you can imagine what he do. What he do to somebody.
I'm not saying that he should have been up there doing that, but I'm just saying the bullying got to stop. I mean, yeah, these are babies, but if you don't cut them out while they are babies, then they're gonna go and keep doing it when they get older. That's the things I'm trying to say. If
Yeah,
the
but that's
child is
not the way to
bullying and
stop
getting
him.
away with it over and over and over again, nobody's stopping the child. So when the child get older, it's still gonna be she still or he still gonna be a bully. You got to stop it right then and there. No, I do not appreciate. I don't like the thing that he got on the bus and then told her to whoop her to do stuff like that. That's not what I'm agreeing about. What I'm agreeing
Katrina,
about, somebody got to
how
stop
many?
these kids. Why ain't got league? Somebody got to stop these kids
I
from
know,
being
but Katrina,
bullied.
how many grown folks you think them bullied when they were children, bullied or been bullied, and now they're law-abiding citizens? You know, this is kid stuff. You grow out of
It's
it.
kids, Wayne. Some of them grow out of it and some of them don't.
Did the man's child come home bleeding or just her
I
feelings
don't know
hurt?
what happened to this baby. Nobody want to be bullied. I want to ever get on the bus every day getting bullied.
Nobody wants to,
That's what I'm
but there's
saying. These are
ways there's
kids,
ways to
but you
handle it.
still, but you still bullying a child. Somebody got to stop it
Okay, we
off
finna
because if
move
it gets
on.
older, I know we're gonna move
But you
on.
don't do it
When they
that
get
way, Katrina.
older, they gonna keep doing the
I'm
same
sorry, y'all.
thing.
I had to Tara. Thank you for the blessings, girl. Thank you for the Saturday evening blessings. Listen, I think there's no one on this panel disagreeing with bullying has to stop. We are all in agreement with bullying has to stop. That is not a question. But what we're saying is there is a way to stop it. Okay. And just because that man got on the bus and got in that girl face, do you think that's going to just get her straight and stop her from bullying? Probably not. Because usually when you have bullies, something is most likely going on in their household that is making them a bully. Either they want attention and people cry out for attention different ways. So just because he got on that bus, got in her face, and had her daughter, his daughter, put the hands on her, that don't mean that this girl gonna stop being a bully. I think that in every situation you have in life, you have got to, for the best part, first try to do everything the right way. You should have documentation that you went to the principal. You should have documentation that you spoke to the teacher. You should have documentation that you asked this principal in this school to have a meeting between the bully's parents and you. You shouldn't just wait for the bus stop to come and then instruct your daughter to keep hitting on this girl. And God bless that girl didn't hit back, because that father probably would have jumped in. The girl was just sitting there. That father probably would have jumped in and helped his 6-year-old beat up a 7-year-old. This was deplorable on every single level. And on top of that, he said, that's not enough. I want to see her cry. The man is sick. And this happened in a very sick way. And these bus drivers now too, they're scared also. In 2.2 seconds, we ain't going to have nobody to drive our kids to school. We ain't going to have no teachers. It's going to be total chaos. It is extremely sad. Extremely sad. And I think that because, like we said before, in that other school situation that we had, until we find a way where maybe all these people, because we all know if you live in a certain neighborhood, you have got to go to whatever school is in that neighborhood, unless you got the money to pay for your child to go to another school, a Catholic school, or whatever the case may be. So maybe what needs to happen is these parents need to all band together and demand better for their kids, because they have no choice but to go to that school, and we all are paying our taxes. Whether you pay $1, $20, $30,000, and if you own a home in the neighborhood or whatever, you are paying your taxes, and it's just not right. Savannah, your thoughts?
Hey Diva, hey panel, hey chat. Those were my thoughts exactly. We're talking about 6-year-olds here. We're talking about barely out of kindergarten. These are babies. And in my opinion, I'm so sorry that happened to your family. That is something that is tragic and heartbreaking. And we have to demand better and more of our educators, our school boards, our principals. But that doesn't mean that you have the right to board a school bus that's full of other children. I would have been highly upset if my child was on that bus and here she sees a grown man become posing a threat and instructing his daughter to attack another child, regardless of whether that child was a bully or not. That is scary for a kid, and that there's the school buses are an extension of the schools and is supposed to be a form of safety. And he has taught his daughter to bypass authority because he pushed that school driver's hand out of the way when she was trying to take control of the situation. So if his daughter was getting bullied, and I'm not denying or dismissing that, but there's other means that you have to do as a parent. Become involved, be in the classroom. I'm gonna say, if my child's being bullied, I'm sitting my tail in the classroom. Let's see what's really going on. Sometimes these teachers are overwhelmed and they need some assistance. So, and I know all of us are busy, and some of us have 2 or 3 jobs. But if we have for your child, the parent and the educator have to be a partnership. It's not just on the educator, and you have to do it correctly. This father is wrong. I think the bond was too small. So his tail belongs in jail. And don't think that other child's father is not going to come see about him, because they're going to come see about their child. So he just escalated a situation between 2 babies into a whole out family war.
Yeah. So let me say this. I'm about to move on. So, listen, I have 1 kid, right? And when I tell you the village has helped me significantly, so I'm not removed. I thank God every day for all the blessings that are bestowed upon me. So I'm not removed that my story is not everyone's story. And that's why I have zero judgment. I understand. So just so happened, I'm a product of a mix of, I went to public school and I went to Catholic school, right? And I'm not here to fight. This one is better than the other. I'm a mixture of both. But I will say this. Remember, I got 1 kid and I had a tremendous, even to this day, I got a tremendous amount of help. My kid from birth to 12th grade went to Catholic school. And I will say this, when you do not go to the public schools upon which you live, they will give you a kickback, the township, because your kid is not going to that school, but it's not a whole bunch of money. They're not giving you a whole bunch of money, and then the money they give you is not covering the Catholic school tuition. At least I know that here for New Jersey, because my son always went to a Catholic or a private school. But it is not that easy for everybody else. I'm telling y'all this and telling y'all, because y'all know I keep it 100 with y'all. When I say I got help, to this very second, as my son is in college, I have a ton of help. To God be the glory. That is not everybody's story. It is not that easy. And I will tell you 100% truth again. Even with the Catholic schools, there are times I had to go up to the Catholic school and tell the people that we ain't dealing with this nonsense. This ain't going down. But it was a little bit easier for me, because when you paying, the first thing you can say is, I'll take my kid out. I ain't paying all this money for this. But we're going to keep going on. And I do believe that, I think Brookie said it, is so messed up that where you live dictates the amount of education you can and cannot get, and the amount of shenanigans that may go on in your schools. It is very unfair. But we're going to move on to the next story, and we're going to talk about this criminal whose kid died in a hot car, and he was able to go on vacation. It must be nice. Now, he has since pled guilty, and I don't think they sentenced him yet, but I will double check as we talk about this story. So, Arizona doctor's husband, who left daughter 2 to die in a sweltering car, was distracted by watching adult movies, playing video games, and drinking beer. So, an Arizona father who was reportedly too wrapped up in playing video games and watching adult movies to remember that his 2-year-old daughter was still inside his hot car. Radar Online can reveal Christopher is charged with first-degree murder for the tragic death of his young child, Parker, after he left her to nap in a car seat in a sweltering 90-degree heat in July 2024. Christopher is scheduled to head to trial later this month. However, remember I updated you, he pleaded guilty, so now he's not going to trial. The father of 3 allegedly left the youngest child in the car after running some errands and getting distracted. A new court filing accuses the 38-year-old of cracking open a few beers. He shoplifted. His wife is an anesthesiologist. You're hearing this? He shoplifted early in the day, playing games and searching for adult movies on his PlayStation, all while the toddler napped. Christopher has said he left the car running and the air conditioning on, but after an extended period of time, the vehicle shut off. Medical examiner says temperatures in the 2003 Acura climbed as high as 109 degrees over the 3 hours Parker was trapped in the car. Parker's mother, an anesthesiologist, discovered her daughter in critical condition in the car with the AC off when she came home around 4 p.m. The toddler was rushed to the same hospital where the mother works and was declared dead an hour later. Christopher admitted he was aware that the car engine in his vehicle turns off after 30 minutes, at which point there would be no air conditioning. That wasn't the first time he left one of his children in a closed car. According to a criminal complaint, investigators also allege that the 2 surviving daughters, who were 6 and 9 at the time, said in interviews that their father had previously left them alone in the car on other occasions. His 16-year-old daughter from a previous marriage also claimed he frequently left her alone inside cars without food for hours at a time, even to the point where Child Protective Services took her away from him. In a text message after Parker's incident, his wife Erica allegedly wrote, "I told you to stop leaving them in the car. How many times have I told you?" Still, Erica has stood by her man during all of this, and the couple, along with their 2 surviving daughters, raised eyebrows when the judge granted their request to take a family vacation to Maui earlier that year. In May, his defense team successfully argued for a temporary change in his bail conditions, allowing him to vacation with his family for more than a week. Judge Kimberly Ortiz approves Christopher's request to vacation despite prosecutors' objections, with conditions including no unsupervised contact with children and regular check-ins. Christopher has pleaded not guilty to the murder charge. He previously turned down a plea deal that would have reduced his charges to second-degree murder, carrying a maximum sentence of 25 years. Instead, he now faces either life in prison or death penalty if he's found guilty. I will get the other updated information after we go through this, but he has since changed and went ahead and pleaded guilty. But check this out. We got to talk. Do you believe? You know what I'm saying? Do you believe because of who you are, you could get away with more? Diddy was DV, and he wasn't even charged with DV. That's not what he was in court for. But they kept bringing up DV when he wanted to get out on bond. This man was out on bond. His kid was dead. They knew that he stole. He did the same thing to a previous kid. He was under CPS watch, and still they allowed him out on bond, and then they allowed him to take a vacation. You can't even make this stuff up. Julius, your thoughts?
Privilege at its finest. Privilege at its finest. And Diva, we covered this story.
Yes, we did.
And if you remember at the time, I was giving the mother some grace. Oh, well, let's just say that grace is gone now. Because I'm side-eyeing her big time. I would have been divorced this fool. You caused me unbearable pain of no longer having my child here because of your gutter snake negligence. Oh no, you wouldn't have a house. You wouldn't have nothing. You would be homeless. But she's still with him. So I guess her child was not, let me not say that. Let me calm down a little bit. But yeah, I'm side eyeing her too.
The,
Fake
the
and
the
phony.
wild part about it is though, you went on vacation with this man. I mean,
Right. That part.
yeah,
That
and
part.
you knew that he had some previous issues
Uh-huh.
because of his other daughter and the other marriage, and you still
Hello.
operated with this
Hello.
man. Crazy.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Julius. In my opinion,
Um, I this is insane. This is horrible. I do remember this case. Okay. Um, First of all, I didn't think they were still together. I would have thought when the mama found out that he was leaving her other children in the car at 8 and 9, I would have thought she would have said no to him then. And now he done caused my 2-year-old. I don't understand this. I don't understand how a court system thought it was okay for him to leave the country. Like this, all don't make no sense to me. I've never heard of nobody on bond being able to leave the country. What if he ain't come back?
He
And I
was in the
can't believe
country.
this woman still.
No, they went to
I
Hawaii.
thought
That's
they went to
Maui.
Hawaii.
That's part of the
Okay.
United States.
Still, I ain't never seen nobody be able to leave the state when they on bond. Even the girl that just unalived her baby with it, which they can't say she unalived her baby, she ain't able to leave the state of Tennessee. I just don't understand this. How you been able to leave and you on charges for murder, for unaliving somebody. I don't understand this at all. I've never heard of somebody first, second, third degree ever being able to get out of the state. That's just not possible.
unbelievable. Savannah, your thoughts?
See, but this story has upset me more than I can say because this is more than just privilege. These people attempted to use their religion as a defense as well. The mother should lose custody of the two surviving little girls because she knew that her husband was putting these children, all of them, at various times in the car, in an old car with a faulty engine, so he can do whatever vices he did because he placed that baby in the car, went inside, drunk his beers, watched his pee, and took a nap while that baby was out there cooking for 3.5 hours. And the mom has the nerve to say accidents happen. And if you see their vacation pictures, it pisses you off even more. They're in there skinning and grinning and having fun on the beaches of Maui like they just didn't lose a child a few months ago. And she's with the person that unalived the baby. So she needs to lose custody of her children as well because she failed to protect them as she should. She knew that he had a habit of doing this as he did it with his oldest child. And then she knew that he did it to the other two, older and younger to her two, and then now the baby is no longer here. So she's just as guilty. I think she needs to go for accessory, accomplice, or failure to watch and protect her children as a mother should.
Wayne, your thoughts?
I think that they both were doing things that you wouldn't do. Leaving your children at home by themselves. I mean, because the way she doesn't really show like any guilt, amounts towards him, it's like, well, I've done the same thing. So, I mean, she say accidents can happen. I think she probably she knew the kids would be in the car. And I think it was just, look, don't forget they in the car. I think they just brushed it off like that. And did they say what? I know the options were, he pleaded guilty, but is he going to get one of those charges is going to jail or life or the penalty?
I have no idea.
Because either one would be just, I would think.
Well, when you let this man go to Hawaii, I mean, I don't know.
Neither one of them, they have no guilt. I don't think they have no guilt.
I'm coming to you, Katrina. So let me just up it. So right before he was scheduled to go to trial, he decides to gets a plea deal. So let's just look in. So Arizona dad whose daughter too died in a 109-degree hot car while he played video games gets a plea deal. So Christopher, 38, previously rejected a plea deal that would have resulted in less jail time than the deal he agreed to this week. So an Arizona man charged with murdering his 2-year-old daughter after she died in a hot car parked in the family's driveway has agreed to a plea deal. Christopher, 38, entered guilty pleas to charges of second-degree murder and intentional child abuse likely to cause death or serious physical injury. His decision just days before his trial was set to begin came as a surprise, as he previously declined to accept a similar plea deal when it was first offered by prosecutors, one which would only require him to plead guilty to the murder charge. His decision to pass over the initial offer came at a steep price, as he would have faced 10 to 25 years in prison had he agreed to the deal at the time. So I think this is Dawn, but I'll come back to it. In a statement, the Pima County's attorney's office said Christopher will face 20 and 30 years in prison under the terms of the deal without the possibility of early release. Had he gone to trial, he would have possibly faced of life in prison or even the death penalty. The father of 3 was arrested after leaving his youngest child in a car while he sat inside playing video games on July 9, 2024, according to multiple court documents previously filed in the case and viewed by People. Christopher also allegedly searched for adult entertainment on his PlayStation during that time. But the judge in the case issued an order earlier this month stating that this information could not be introduced at trial. It was his wife who discovered the child when she arrived home that day, some 3 hours after Christopher had returned from running errands with the toddler. The criminal complaint said the temperature inside the vehicle that afternoon was 109 degrees Fahrenheit. Baby camera footage recorded Christopher admitting that he left his daughter in the car while speaking with officers from the Marana Police Department when they arrived on the scene. Christopher told the officers that he left his daughter in the vehicle with the air conditioning on because she was asleep in her car seat and went inside the family home. He then alleged that he forgot about his daughter because he was distracted, according to the complaint. The complaint also alleged that Christopher said he was aware that the car engine in his vehicle turns off after 30 minutes, at which point there would be no air conditioning. Investigators later interviewed 2 surviving daughters who were 6 and 9 at the time, and both allegedly said their father had previously left them alone in the car, according to the complaint. A text allegedly sent to Christopher by his wife as their daughter was being rushed to the hospital seems to support that claims. As she texts, "I told you to stop leaving them in the car. How many times have I told you?" Christopher was released on bail and was ordered not to have any unsupervised time with children, but was later approved to travel to Hawaii with his wife and 2 surviving daughters ahead of his trial. Sentencing is set for November 21st in the case, but Christopher must turn himself in 3 weeks prior to on November 3rd. So his lawyer did not respond to request for comment. So this man is still in the streets. Which is insane to me.
We do have an update on a News 4 Tucson investigation this afternoon. The Marana father charged with first-degree murder after leaving his 2-year-old daughter inside of a hot car for hours appeared before a judge this morning. So again, let's go ahead and show you the victim. That is 2-year-old Parker Schultes. According to investigators, her father left her inside the car while temperatures reached 109 degrees in July of last year while he was inside playing video games for up to 3 hours. Now there's another request to delay the trial scheduled in October. News 4 Tucson's chief investigative reporter Corus Nylander was inside the courtroom and has the latest from outside Pima County Superior Court.
Right now, the schedule hasn't changed for the trial, October 27th, but Christopher Schultes' attorneys are requesting yet another delay in this case after several issues were raised here today. Christopher Schultes has been out of custody for the majority of this case and was inside the courtroom today, a free man. He's possibly having second thoughts about rejecting a plea agreement from prosecutors offered back in March. Today, his attorney was asking for meetings with prosecutors to try and reach a potential settlement. Prosecutors made it clear they have no plans to offer offer another deal in this case. Then the court took up an issue raised by prosecutors after the Department of Child Services reported Schultes was seen walking alone into his children's school to pick them up despite a court order he not be unsupervised with minors. It was revealed his wife was in the car, and the defense argued that there were school staff nearby.
The concern was before they knew that anyone else was with him outside that he would be taking the kids alone. But I mean, confirming myself with the DCS caseworker that his wife was present.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to consider that issue settled.
The prosecution also raised a concern that Schultes may have violated his conditions of release by moving to Phoenix 6 weeks ago. The defense said he verbally told a pretrial services officer, and without requesting any further information, the judge didn't push that matter any further. It was also revealed there's an open DCS case involving his 17-year-old daughter, who spoke exclusively with the News 4 Tucson investigators soon after Parker's death, saying that she too had been left inside of hot cars multiple times. There's a hearing now scheduled for September 19th to see whether or not there needs to be another delay in this case. We'll keep you updated. Reporting from Pima County Superior Court, Cora Snylander, News 4.
So he avoided court for a long time. Now the gig is up, and they try to cut another deal, but it's too late. Yes.
Steve, I'm sorry. So he doesn't have an ankle bracelet or nothing on. I'm taking it.
Nothing.
He's just walking around free, walking in and out of schools, or being around children he shouldn't be. Okay, I got this.
Is the Lulu too, right? Because
I'm telling
you want to let him. He should have been in the driver's seat, and you should have walked in the school to get the kids. I mean, this woman is gone. She's mental too. In my opinion, am I up to you?
You came to me, but Diva, I'm not understanding none of this. Like, how? I've never seen this happen in no case ever. I've never seen M case where you're able to travel, able to move. You just tell the people and you tell the judge. Like, I've never heard of none of this stuff. All this should be Morris to drop his bun. Like, he got somebody in his back pocket. I'm telling you. I don't know if it's the judge or not. It's somebody in his back pocket, because I've never heard of none of these.
Thank you, Katrina. I mean, Savannah, am I up to you?
Yeah, I already went, Diva.
Okay, thank you, Wayne.
Already went.
Thank you. Well, who did I miss? Who am I up to?
Me.
Katrina.
Hi, Katrina. Sorry.
My thing is, somebody need to knock the Mario coins head out that lady head. Girl, what is wrong with you? You worse than he is. I mean, you know this happened all the time. I'm glad you never put me to sleep when I had to have surgery, because they don't tell her what you would have did. This woman is sick herself. And the reason why he probably went on a vacation, because the lawyer probably told the judge that he's pleading guilty and he's going to have all this time, and they want to take a last minute family vacation together. Girl, how in the world can you even look at this man when he's the reason why your child is gone? Did y'all have this child in some insurance? Because this is just ridiculous. And you know he's known to leave kids in the car. And this fool, he went in the store and stole beer. So regardless of the fact, girl, what's her self-worth? She has no self-worth in herself at all. She putting all her energy and focus on this man. Because remember when he went to court, she was there with him saying that it was a mistake and she was talking up for him. But you wasn't talking up for your child. You talking about this an accident. Accidents happen one time. This man did this many a times. And if he was out, he probably do it again. The folks told him not to go around the children. What did he do? He feel big and bad. He can go around the kids and you sit in the car. Somebody need to knock Mario coins out of her head, because she is just more crazier than he is. That's too nuts that was together. This is ridiculous. And that's the thing I tell you all the time. It ain't all about book sense. It's about common sense and street sense. And she ain't got it. She might have book sense, but her common sense and street sense is gone. I don't know what he put on her to make her feel like that he was invincible or whatsoever, but she fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. You taking your tail on a vacation with a person that unalived your child. Accident or not, it wouldn't have been no accident, because it was an accident. He's known for leaving your kids in a car. You is crazy as well. and for him to go out and be fancy free and foot loose and doing whatever he wants to do. Okay, we're gonna see what happens when you get in there and meet Mr. Bubble. No, what's his name? Mr. Bobo. And see what happens when you get in that jail cell with him. And I hope they put you in the population. And my thing is, I'll put both of them in the car and take the keys away and make it seal the door shut and let them feel how let them know how that baby felt when she was out there cooking in this car. I will put him in a car in the hottest degrees there is and let him get that same kind of punishment. That's all I got.
Yeah, I wouldn't even want her to be my anesthesiologist, to be honest with you. Because when you make bad decisions, you just a bad decision maker to me. And most people will make the best decisions when it comes to their kids. So if you ain't even making good decisions when it comes to your kids, no, I'm good. I don't want you to be my anesthesiologist. Go help somebody else. Tell them you free.
That's why I said she need to lose her job.
Yeah. Callie, your thoughts?
Yeah, this man is trash. He's just overall a low vibrational individual, and I would like to know, what did he do for a living? Because they keep saying she an anesthesiologist. I have a feeling that this dude is a dusty bum, and some study needs to be done on women who have this fixation with these dusty, burnt out, obviously no good men. I don't think this man was doing nothing when she married him. I suspect that the situation that happened with the older daughter probably happened before she even had these kids, because that girl is 17.
Yep.
So she knew that this man was dusty, and she didn't care. She just wanted this man, and you know she paying for that vacation. Now, I don't understand. The only time I've ever known anyone be able to leave when they on bond or something is if it's a funeral or another court date. I don't know how you waiting to be sentenced and you going to Hawaii to another state. This makes absolutely no sense to me. None at all. And yes, technically it's an accident, but not really. Because it's an accident that only happened because you was drinking that beer you stole.
That part.
He probably
You
was
know what I
already
mean?
lit.
It's not like a accident like you guys just had a car accident. You know, the sun was in your eyes. You didn't see the other car coming and you guys got hit and the little girl passed away. That's an accident. This is someone who probably is an alcoholic committing child neglect so they can go watch adult films and play a video game. A man who's 40 years old with like 3-4 kids and 2 baby mamas. This man is a degenerate, and she's still running around with this man. She don't need them kids. Something else gonna happen to them kids because she just don't get another man when he goes to jail, and they don't tell him what that man gonna do to them kids because she don't have good judgment. This is insane. This is really insane. Some study needs to be done on these women because these men ain't got no money. So it's not like you're there because, you know, you're getting all these gifts and all this stuff.
You got bad
for a
feedback,
dusty man.
Callie, you got bad feedback. I don't know what's going on, but you giving us.
Oh, you know what? I'm probably just in a bad in an area that has bad cell phone signal.
Okay.
So I'm
Baby, you got aliens. You got aliens on your call list.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I'm near the airport.
Oh, okay.
That's what it is.
Yeah, that's
so
it's bad. All right. But thank you. I was trying to find the interview with the 16-year-old daughter. I can't seem to pull it up. But in my opinion, somebody, if you find it for me, send it through my email and then I'll play it. But I wanted to play that piece, but I couldn't find it. But I wanted to hear her talk because she says she's surprised it didn't happen earlier. And this is just incredibly sad. But yes, you know, people want to say, oh, people stay because there's no money, whatever. Well, she was the money maker. She was the anesthesiologist, and she still say, so it's nonsense. But what's stunning to me is that all this man did, and he was still, to this moment, after he pleaded guilty, he still, after he took a plea deal and pleaded guilty, they still was like, oh, just come to us before November the 4th and turn yourself in. Huh? And he's scheduled to face darn near life in prison. You talking about 20 and 30 years. And he can go and do whatever. It's almost like you telling that man, if you can flee the country, go ahead.
I'm still shocked that he was allowed. They didn't arrest him when he went in that school. Talking about the teachers and stuff was around. I thought he wasn't supposed to be around the kids, and she's sitting in the car. Yeah, somebody need to knock the Mario coins out of her head because she ain't got them out. There ain't no way she'll be putting me to sleep if I ever had to have surgery. And I know if she's an anesthesiologist, she baking home pretty close to 200,000 a year. That's ridiculous.
And you correct, but you know what, Katrina? Even as this woman was making $1, I would have been done. I'm sorry. My child is gone, and you in Hawaii chilling. I
That's
mean,
what I'm saying. She was defending him the whole time. That's what I'm saying. She was defending him the whole time. When this happened, she defending this man. Girl, what this is just crazy. She defended this man when you lost, make sure your child is gone. And you in Hawaii. Oh my God, you's a horrible person. That whole little circle is a horrible, that's just ridiculous. Like you said, them kids need to leave. And if you knew this man was that type of person, why didn't you just hire a nanny or a babysitter or something? Because you know you can rely on him. This is ridiculous. You out here making all this money and he's sitting at home allowing your child to be unalive. That's ridiculous. It's impossible to get. That's all I got.
All right, so let me go ahead and roll into this last story. So this is the oldest house. I'm sorry, I had the wrong thing. The oldest house member, Eleanor Holmes Norton, is 88, scammed out of $4,000 and has early signs of dementia and is still running for re-election. We need her to retire, respectfully. So Eleanor Holmes Norton, a non-voting delegate representing the District of Columbia, has the early stages of dementia, according to a police report detailing how scammers took advantage of the oldest member of the House of Representatives. Norton, 88, was duped by multiple suspects Thursday who went to a Washington, D.C. home claiming to have HVAC workers, according to an internal police report obtained by NBC News 4. The swindlers charged $4,362 to the Democratic Congresswoman's credit card without performing any work. Norton's caretaker / power of attorney was not at the residence at the time the group showed up, which was just after 3:30 p.m. The report states, noting that it was Norton's caretaker who called D.C. police after noticing the unscheduled arrival at the Congresswoman's home. Norton's apparent cognitive impairment was described in a section of the police report detailing victim information. Congresswoman Eleanor Holmes Norton, D.C., 88, a Black woman, suffers early stages of dementia, the report states. Norton, who has served as a member of the House since 1991, has shown signs of mental decline and has struggled to do her job on Capitol Hill in recent years, friends and colleagues told the New York Times earlier this year. The Congresswoman is described as being unable to function independently, leaning on aides, close friends, and family members for help. The outlet reported, noting that she rarely attends House Oversight Committee meetings and appears at times not to recognize people she has known for years. The Congresswoman's office dismissed the dementia claim in a statement to NBC News. The medical diagnosis included in the police report was based on an assumption the reporting officer was unqualified to make, the statement read. Norton's office also contends the Congresswoman's caretaker is actually a house manager. The Congresswoman employs a house manager who oversees all maintenance services, so she initially assumed her staff had arranged a visit and provided her credit card for payment. Norton's office said, upon notifying her house manager, who revealed ring door footage and confirmed that no such appointment had been scheduled, the incident was immediately reported to the police. Congresswoman Norton doesn't have a caretaker. A longtime employee and friend serves as her house manager, residing at a separate address. DC's Metropolitan Police Department provided the Post with a public incident report, which does not include the dementia claim. The report notes the police are investigating the case as a felony fraud against Norton. The suspects remain at large. They're lucky that they didn't hurt her. The Congresswoman is safe, and the fraudulent charges have been reported to the police and her bank. Her office added. She thanks MPD and Capitol Police for their quick response. There will be no further comment. Norton told Axios, last month that she has no plans to leave Congress despite the mounting concerns about her mental acuity. Of course, she responded when asked if she was running for re-election. I say that my seniority is what is very important, and I'm not going to step aside. A spokesperson for Norton did not respond to the post request for a comment. When she says she ain't stepping aside, I saw somebody put in the Ladybug, thank you, term limits ASAP. I agree with that. Jewish, your thoughts?
Okay, so the Senate was just in this situation. Dianne Feinstein, anyone? There needs to be term limits. And even if she's okay now, she was still scammed out of 4K. 4K.
That's a lot of money.
And others have been probably saying, hey, we're worried about you. So we're not there. They know something that we don't. And I do believe there needs to be term limits and like Increased Matters just said, age limits. I am for that. Because in the Senate, Dianne Feinstein, she served until she was in her 90s. And I believe she had lots of illnesses when she died while still serving. It needs to happen. It's past due.
Thank you. In my opinion, your thoughts?
We keep seeing this. Mitch McConnell is another one. I definitely think there needs to be some age limit and a wellness check that goes into these political offices because they have these ages on them and they stay in here forever. I think they should have a term limit too. I don't think you should be in and then just stay in. I really don't. I think you, after you've been in for about 8 years, just like the president said, I think you should retire anyway. That's enough politics for you. If you ain't did what you need to do in them 8 years, just need to call it quit. You know what I'm saying? I think there needs to be a lot that gets done with our political background because they have a lot of responsibility on their back, and we see they ain't doing nothing. Nothing. So yes, I think there needs to be a lot that needs to be done. I hate that she got scammed out of $4,000, but then again, I think of it, and this is the age where people get scammed.
Yeah,
and she's losing it. So she's vulnerable on both ends. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how much of her information somebody has took from her because of her age limit. You know, our documents could be in somebody else's hand because if they able to scam her money, they able to scam her files too. So I think there definitely needs to be something we look into as of age. It's sad to say, but when you get older, you just can't do what you used to do when you was younger. You don't have the mental speed. So yes, I think there needs to be a test done. And Diva, did you get the text? It would have been from the hubby.
Thank you. In my opinion, Savannah, your thoughts?
You know, these scammers or crooks, their game is getting more sophisticated and more slicker, and each and every opportunity that they can, they know that these lawmakers who are in and around DC, one, they're extremely preoccupied with the mess that's going on up here. Also because most of these senior, very very senior lawmakers here do have caretakers, not just for them but for their spouses as well, and sometimes their grandchildren. They're all over DC. I see them constantly, but this, you know, she got scammed out of 4,000. I would definitely look at the caretaker and security a little more. I thought that these lawmakers especially ever since Nancy Pelosi's husband's incident. I know most of them had vamped up their security detail, and especially in the homes that they stay up here in DC and in around Northern Virginia area. The security detail is high and heavy, but shame on the Democrats for keeping her, um, knowing that she is not of, not all her cognizant are not here. I agree with term limits. I definitely am a supporter of that. And um, age is something that not just for our Congress people. I think Supreme Court as well. I think that's where we should start on them, because they know once they get in these positions, they know how to manipulate the system to stay there. But it's on us, it's on the voters to vote them out regardless. There should be some young new blood every 4 to 8 years. So it's time for her to go, but the Democrats will, knowing that they need the numbers, they'll keep her on as long as they can. I just remember the debacle with Ruth Bader Ginsburg, um, and what when Obama had asked her to step down because of her age and she refused. That's how, ever since that bad decision, the Supreme Court has tilted in a realm that is not popular with most Americans. So I think there definitely should be age and term limits on our lawmakers, but these scammers are getting more and more slicker, and it's just they need to ramp up security.
Yeah, yeah, I do remember when Obama asked her to step down. It was brutal. Um, but I just feel like, well, there's a lot of things going on that this tells me, right? No matter what position you're in and maybe how much money you might have made in your career and throughout your life, a lot of people, when it comes to retirement, they're not quite sure what they're going to do and what life looks like if they're not doing work, right? But maybe what they understand is that maybe you still work, but you just don't work at that same job that you have worked all your life, if that's making any sense to everybody. We need, there needs to be more talks about, like, what's my next life, like, and I'm not talking about next life when you're dead, like what's my next act in life, what can I do next, so that I still have some type of purpose, I still have a reason to get up in the morning, I still have a reason to live. Wayne, your thoughts?
You know, you don't have to have dementia to get caught up in some of these scams. You know, I know they target older people. You don't have to have dementia. Uh, I agree with the term limits, the age, and all that. But until they do something, I hope she ride it out. I think it's one of the Republicans that's holding the seat, and she's in a nursing home.
Mm.
She don't know her butt from a hole in the ground. So I hope she ride it out. Mitch McConnell stood up there 20 seconds, didn't know where he was, and he's still in there. So ride it out. Ride it out. We need the seat anyway. And if she got insurance, if she owns the house and she got insurance, she can probably claim it on her insurance as a theft or whatever.
I hear you, Wayne, but I think all of them need to get all of them out. I
I
think
agree.
I
I
think they need
agree.
to get all of them out. I think we need fresh young blood. I think we need new people to be ushered in. I think different things need to happen. I think our world needs saving. And I think that at some point, I'm not saying with every single thing, but I do think at some point we need to move forward. Katrina, your thought?
Yeah, Diva. This world is not going to change until we get all these old white tea people from up there. They still have that slave mentality. Like we just said, with Mitch McConnell. He was standing up there looking like he seen 12 slaves in front of his face. And he couldn't, and then he fell down. Yes, the other day he was walking and just fell down. But you holding these seats for somebody else. They don't want the new blood to get in there because, see, we think on a whole different level. They still thinking back in the day when I did this and I said that or whatever. It's never going to change until we can get them from up in there. We got to get them out of there. I mean, how much more money you want? Retire already. Let somebody else come in and put some fresh eyes on what's going on. And that goes for 47 in the White House as well. I don't think we should have a president in his 80s. I really don't. Because we know how the mind goes. And I'm not saying that all of them are the same, but I think when they get to that age, I don't think they need to be in no White House, running no country. I really don't. Because they still gonna go back to that childhood and focus that on the United States, because this man hasn't done anything and he's still delusional, saying that the economy is good, gas prices down, and job market. This man is delusional. He is delusional. He's sitting up there, he look like he ain't had a stroke. His ankles as big as watermelons. It's just ridiculous. He's still up there being egregious, deviant, low down, and disgusting. You don't care about the American people, but you care about saving Argentina. Talking about they had nothing left. They ain't had nothing left. Man, take that bull crap to somebody else. Like we said, get these old folks up out of there and get some new people up in there that has a fresher mind, a fresher thought, and maybe this world can come back together again. Because right now we're divided. We don't trust each other. We're fractured. We're a fractured country. And people used to look at the United States as being the best country there is. But to me, the United States is a good name with bad credit. That's all I got.
Thank you. So thank you, in my opinion, for finding this video for me. Let me just show this before we close out. This is backing to the previous story.
Tragic death of a 2-year-old girl left for hours inside a hot car in Marana earlier this month. The child's father, Christopher Schultes, is charged with second-degree murder. Speaking exclusively with News 4 Tucson investigators, Schultes' oldest daughter is speaking up.
So she believes all of this could have been prevented, she says. We do want to warn you that you might find some of the details in this story disturbing. Our News 4 Tucson's chief investigative reporter, Corson Nylander, has more in tonight's investigation.
Well, it was here on this block that Christopher Schultes' 2-year-old daughter died inside of the family car as temperatures scorched above 100 degrees. The News 4 Tucson investigators have learned that Schultes has a 16-year-old daughter from a previous relationship. That daughter tells us she's heartbroken for her half-sister's death, but not the least bit surprised.
It makes plenty of sense. I'm surprised that it didn't happen sooner.
Those are the words of Christopher Schultes' own daughter from a previous relationship, reacting to the death of her 2-year-old half-sister, Parker, that died after being left in a hot car for hours at Schultes' Marana home earlier this month.
First time he did it was with me when I was younger than 7.
She is now 16. She doesn't want us using her identity for safety concerns, but tells me she has many memories of being left in a hot car. One time while her father was working, she says she spent several hours inside of the car.
I had to go sit out in the car for 4 to 5 hours and continuously had to restart the car. I'd only eaten once that day.
She's a type 1 diabetic, so that proved to be dangerous for her. She says her 3 other surviving half-sisters were also constantly left alone inside of the car. Schultes is facing a charge of second-degree murder for his daughter's death. He got out of jail without having to post bond. Text messages obtained by investigators between Schultes and his wife Erica after the tragedy say this wasn't the first time. In one message, Erica wrote, quote, "I told you to stop leaving them in the car. How many times have I told you?"
Not even just because of the heat, but so many other things could happen, leaving a child unattended in a vehicle. It's so unsafe.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system.
The News 4 Tucson investigators called Schultes. It went straight to voicemail. We left him a message, but never heard back. Schultes' 16-year-old daughter went through a bitter custody battle between him and her mother, who passed away in May. The News 4 Tucson investigators obtained these documents tied to the case. She says she didn't even know her father until she was 5, and against her wishes, she says Schultes was able to get custody over her. She spent 4 years with him and his wife, Erica. She described those years as a nightmare.
It genuinely has changed me as a person. I'll never be the same person I was before I moved in at their house.
In 2021, she says she tried to commit suicide
Because I didn't want to live with my dad anymore.
Child Protective Services got involved. Ultimately, Schultes gave up custody of her. She ended up back with her mother until her sudden death. She is now being taken care of by her best friend's mother, named Lindsay.
I'm so happy that I can help her and that she's here and safe, and doesn't have to go through any more of anything. Now it's just the healing process and being able to grieve in a safe space.
For her, there's now a lot of grieving to do. A mother and sister gone. Marana detectives have reached out to her about the case. She says if her father's case ever makes it to trial, she plans to take the stand and testify against him.
If they would have taken away my little sisters when I was taken away, none of this would have happened. I haven't been sleeping. I haven't been eating. All I think about all day is the fact that my dad is walking free right now.
And we reached out to Marana Police, which confirmed they did reach out to Schultes' 16-year-old daughter and interview her. It's still unclear at this point how significant the information she gave them will be for this investigation. This case is still ongoing. We'll keep you updated. Reporting from Marana, Cor Snylander, News 4 Tucson.
The more information about this case, the sicker and sadder it gets. Now she tried to take her own life just to get out of that home. Now she said it was hell for her in that home.
She didn't even want to be with him. And she
I'm
said
still baffled on the point where he got out on no bond. He didn't even have to pay money to get out. He just walked out of the jail.
Her dad and the stepmama.
Diva, that's what I was saying. I
He
said
just walked out.
that's why they didn't feel no guilt. Birds of a feather flock together.
He just walked out the jailhouse. He ain't had no bond. He ain't have nothing. And then when the girls describing him, well, we still haven't called, and nobody still, as Felicia would say, the minors wasn't protected, and nobody called him a monster. And that's a monster.
And they're still not calling him a monster in the media, and he is one. And you know what? That wife, she's a monster too. I'm saying.
Yes, she is, because for the stepdaughter said that her sister should have been taken when she was taken. So that means there was a lot going on in that household way before this 2-year-old lost her life. Listen, guys, I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for coming through and hanging out with me.
I'm sorry, Diva. So it says, so he did enter a plea. He pleaded guilty, and so he has been charged, or we're waiting for him to be charged?
No, he pled. He did a plea deal, but by the time he did not accept the first plea deal, which would have got him 10 to 20 something years in jail, right? And they probably would have known all this that they did for him. They probably would have gave him the low end. They probably would have gave him 10 years. He declined that plea deal. So he waited up to the trial, and then he wanted to take a plea deal. But by then, they probably had so much more information. And remember, the daughter said she was going to testify against her dad. So now the plea deal that he took the other day, it is worse than the plea deal he was given in the first place.
Okay.
So he's going to spend. So now it starts at 20 years versus the other one. The max would have been 20 years.
Okay. Thank you for clearing that up, because I was so confused. I'm still just baffled how this man is free on bond, able to go to Maui on vacation.
No, he didn't have a bond, Savannah. He didn't have a bond. They never did arrest him.
He never got arrested.
Oh, let's freeze. Let's freeze. He got arrested, but they let him out on no bond.
No bond. Okay.
There's footage of him being arrested. He was arrested, and they gave him, they when he went to the judge, they said no bond. He's free on his own recognizances, even though he had CPS cases, even though they had text messages where they knew that he did this before. They let this man, not only did they let him go, but they let him go to Hawaii. And a person is dead. Diddy, it was DV, And they was like, and he came and gave all passports and everything, and they said that man was gonna flee, and he brought himself to New York to turn himself in. The justice system sucks.
I have another question. Who watched them kids while she was working? Because he wasn't supposed to be around.
He probably did.
See that?
Probably did.
That's what I'm saying. But he wasn't even supposed to be around the kids without supervised supervision or whatsoever. He wasn't even supposed to be around them. And the fact that I'm still on the point where they arrested him and let him out, and he went fancy free doing whatever he wants to do, and did these to these children. Why didn't CPS come in and get these kids checked out or anything like that? Because of the color. Because if it had been a black person, and y'all know I'm right, and no, we not to talk about black people and colors on this thing, but y'all know I'm right. There ain't no darn way that man would have been still walking around. His bond would have been 100,000 or probably $1 million. Who knows?
Listen, guys, I appreciate y'all. Y'all know the routine. Not one of Diddy's children is setting up, doing an interview saying the things that this daughter is saying. Not one. Not a one. Not a one. That girl said, I will testify if there's a child against my father. Now, I'm going to say this respectfully. I'm glad
But she said both of them. She said both of them was a mess.
Yeah, she did. She did. Listen, I'm glad she got somebody to stay with and take care of her. But the current caretaker, it seemed like a lot going on.
Something ain't right with her neither.
Yeah, it seems like something ain't right. But
she was on some substance herself. Even she didn't ate some gummies or smoked something, because homegirl couldn't even keep her eyes open. So the people that she surrounded herself with, well,
she's a child. It's not who it's just who she can get to help her out.
Exactly.
But Magical Murray said, I'm ready for Diddy to get booed at events. Listen, the justice system. But listen, guys, y'all know the routine. If y'all ain't hit that like button on the way in, hit it on the way out. Thank you for spending Saturday night with me. I appreciate y'all. Much appreciated. Good night and goodbye, everybody. Choo choo.
Choo choo.
Choo choo choo.